Hi there, this is Patricia from patriciafenty.com, and today I have a couple of more patterns to go along with this 3D granny square flower that I did last time. So I have a couple of more leaf or petal patterns here. So essentially the pattern is exactly the same. I will include all the parts of it, but the round 2 will show you how to do this little pointy petal for this one, and here this little sort of more cup shaped petal in the blue. Otherwise the pattern is exactly the same. So let's get started. So the supplies that I'm using for this project, I'm using the Bernat Premium yarn. It's a number 4 medium weight acrylic yarn. You can use any yarns that you like. This is a spring green, sky blue, golden, and Aran. And then we just have some scissors, a darning needle, and a 4mm or G6 crochet hook, or a crochet hook for whatever size yarn you decide to use. And so starting with the light color, the Aran, you're going to start with a slip knot. And if you're new to crochet, I do have my beginner crochet series that shows you all these types of techniques that you need to know to do crochet. So set up the tension, and we're going to begin with a chain 4. So yarn over, pull that through your loop, yarn over, pull that through the loop, yarn over, that's 3, yarn over, and 4. Going to join with a slip stitch going into the top loop of your first chain, put your hook under there, yarn over, pull the yarn through that loop and the loop on your hook. Now you've created a little ring. So then you're going to chain 1 and then do a single crochet into the ring. So go into the ring, pull the yarn from behind, pull it through. You'll have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Chain 4. And go back down into the ring with a single crochet, putting the hook through, pull the yarn through. You'll have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and you've created a little loop like that. Squish that over, chain 4, and go back down into the ring with another single crochet. So you're going to repeat that 6 more times, so you have a total of 8 of these loops. So chain 4 and single crochet down into the ring, and I'll see you when you've done your 8th loop, and we'll fasten off there. Now here we are coming to the end of the round, and I've done 8 loops, done my last single crochet, and you're going to have your beginning chain 1, and that's what we want to fasten into. So just go in there, yarn over, pull that through and through with a little slip stitch like that, cut off your tail and pull that through. And that's the end of round 1. Welcome back. So I've darned in my tail ends, and starting with the sky blue, we're going to create a slip knot, put that on your hook, and going into any chain 4 space, we're going to join on with a single crochet. Flip your tail over, you have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, and do a single crochet. Push that over. Then you're going to do a half double crochet, so yarn over once, go into the loop, pull your yarn through. You'll have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Then we're going to do a double crochet, so yarn over, into the loop, pull the yarn through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Then we're going to do a treble crochet, so yarn over twice, into the loop, pull that through, 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And that's the height of the petal. Now we're going to work back down with a double crochet, a half double crochet, and a single crochet. and then chain 2, and go over into the next chain 4 space with a single crochet, and you're going to work that same petal pattern all over again. So a half double crochet, a double crochet, a treble crochet, 2 and 3. That's the peak of the petal, and you're going to work back down with a double crochet, a half double crochet, and a single crochet, and then chain 2 and go over to the next chain 4 space and work that same petal pattern. You're going to work that all the way around, and I'll see you at the end. All right, so coming to the end of round 2, I've just finished my last cluster with the single crochet. I'm going to chain 2 and then just join into that beginning single crochet with a slip stitch, and you can either chain 1 to fasten off or just fasten off. That's up to you. I'm just fastening off, and then go ahead and darn in your tail ends. So as you can see, this is a fairly full flower, but when you work and sort of scrunch it up here, you can see there it creates a really, really nice sort of cup shape. And the really fun thing about this pattern, and you can use the hand steamer, like once you're done the whole pattern, you can use the hand steamer to shape the flowers a little bit more. But the fun thing about this one is you can use it this way so that the petals pop up, or you can use it this way with the petals like in a cup shape. So this one's super fun in that way. So you could do it this way in a different color, and you'd have like a 4th petal design. So from here on in, you're going to carry on with rows 3, 4, and 5, and I will insert those later on after I do the yellow petals. And it's exactly the same, but of course I'll be demonstrating with these pink petals, but you'll do exactly the same thing where you're joining on with your green in the chain 2 space and doing your row 3 and then row 4 and row 5. So next I'll show you the yellow petal pattern. All right, so this is the gold in the Bernat Premium, and of course you can use any yarn color you like. I always like to have my tails to the right. So starting with a slip knot, join into any chain 4 space with a slip stitch. Flip your tail over and do a slip stitch. So we'll chain 2, and this is going to be very similar to the pink petaled flower that we did. So we'll do a double crochet, squish that over, a treble crochet, and now we're going to work a little picot into the top of this treble crochet. So chain 3, and then you'll have at the base of this chain 3, there are 2 stitches there in the front, right there. And you want to put your hook in under those 2 stitches, grab your yarn and do a slip stitch through those 2 stitches and the loop on your hook. And that creates a little picot. Then you're going to do a double crochet back down into your chain 4 space. There we go. And then a chain 2 and bring that chain 2 down into the chain 4 space. Just like that. And then we'll chain 2, slip stitch over into the next chain 4 space, chain 2, whoops, that's 2, squish that over, and to do a double crochet, a treble crochet, And in the top of that treble, we're going to do a picot. So chain 3, and then coming back down, and there's these 2 loops in the front of that stitch, putting your hook under those 2 loops, and do a slip stitch through those 2 loops and the loop on your hook, and then do a double crochet, and a chain 2, and bring that down into your chain 4 space, chain 2, and slip stitch over into the next chain 4 space, and repeat the pattern. So again, these are going to look a little bit wonky and you'll have to fuss with them a little bit, but you can see how that creates a nice little pointy petal. So go ahead and repeat that pattern all the way around, and I'll see you at the end. All right, coming to the end of this round, I've just finished my last petal, and where's my yarn? There it is. And doing a chain 2, and then joining into that beginning stitch of the first petal with the slip stitch. And again, you can chain 1 to fasten off or just fasten off. It's sort of a personal preference. So there you go. And then you want to darn in those tail ends. And again, the petals are a little unwieldy at first. They need to be sort of pulled around and shaped. And this is, of course, where the hand steamer is really, really nice. So here you would carry on, as in this tutorial, with round 2 with the spring green, creating your frame for round 4, which is your first row of the granny square stitch, and then go ahead to the row 5 in the Aran. And so I'll finish both these guys off, give them a little press, and come back. But I will be inserting now the videos from this tutorial for rows 3, 4, and 5. So carry on, and I will see you when I have these all done. All right, so I darned in my tail ends. So now going into round 3 with the spring green, create a slip knot, put that on your hook, and then working in between these petals into any chain 2 space here, slip your crochet hook in there. And you're going to pull the yarn from behind, flip your tail over, and rather than doing a slip stitch, you're going to do a single crochet. So yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. So you're joining on with a single crochet. Now you'll chain 4. And you're going to kind of slip behind this petal, but going into the front of this chain 2 space with your hook. Bring the yarn through and do a single crochet. So this will be just a little bit awkward, but you're basically working this chain 4 behind the petal. So do another chain 4 and then kind of push that petal forward, but going into the front of that chain 2 space with a single crochet. So you're going to repeat that all the way around, doing a chain 4, tucking that behind the petal, and doing a single crochet into the front of that chain 2 space between each petal. So go ahead and do that, and I'll see you at the end. All right, so yeah, it's all looking very wonky, but it will work out. So coming to the last petal, I've done my chain 4, and coming around here, you're just going to join into that first single crochet. You can just join in there. It's kind of awkward there. Am I in the back of that? No, I'm not. Just, there we go, slipping into the back of that single crochet, yarn over, join with a slip stitch. And then for round 1, 2, 3, 4, you're going to slip stitch into that next chain 4 space. Now we're going to begin building the granny square pattern. So you're going to chain 2, and that's counting as your first double crochet of a 3 double crochet cluster, yarn over. I'm going to do 1 double crochet and 2 double crochets, and then chain 1. No, chain 2. We're going to work a corner right away. I was going to start this with a single double crochet cluster, but we'll do a corner here. So chain 2 and work another set of 3 double crochets into that chain 4 space. So yeah, we'll start with the corner. So three double crochets. So that's your first corner. Then chain 1. And going into the next chain 4 space, you'll just work a set of, you'll work a set of 3 double crochets. So there's 1, 2, 2 and 3, and then a chain 1. And then going into the next space, you're going to work a corner again. So a set of 3 double crochets, chain 2, and another set of 3 double crochets. Oops, I've got a knot here, so I'm going to be stopping here to work out that knot. Chain 1, and then you're going to go into the next space, work a set of 3 double crochets, chain 1, in the next space a corner, 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, and then the next space a set of just 3 double crochets, and you're going to work that all the way around. So you'll have basically a corner, set of 3 double crochets, corner, set of 3 double crochets. So work that around. I'll get my knot out and I'll see you at the end. Okay, so here I am coming out of a corner, and then chain 1, set of 3 double crochets, chain 1, and then coming around to the first corner, and you've got your beginning chain 2, 1, 2. And we're actually going to slip stitch into the top of that second double crochet. This just kind of makes for a nicer, neater join. So slip stitch into the top of that and do a chain 1 to fasten off. And you can pull that through. And that's the end of round 2, or 3 or 4. What do 1, 2, 3, 4? Round 4. So you can see here, we'll start to sort of lay this flat. Kind of have to work your petals out here, and you can also use a hand steamer to steam the fabric, or you can just block it. You don't have to block it yet. We are going to do a final round here, but there you go. You can see how that's creating a nice shape, and the flowers are taking shape, and they have kind of a really cute little, it's like a cup-shaped petal, which is really cute. So you can just sort of fuss with that a bit. I'm going to darn in my tail ends, come back, and we'll do the final round. Welcome back. So I just want to show you that, as you're doing these 3D flowers, they are kind of bulky, but don't worry, as you carry on and get the last round on and then block it and steam it, it'll all lay out very nicely. So carry on. Welcome back. So now we're going to join on with the cream color and create a slip knot. Now I do my last rounds a little bit different than most people because I like to have a really nice clean finish. So we're going to join on into a chain 2 space, join on with a slip stitch, and we're going to start in the middle of the first 3 double crochet cluster. So we're going to chain 2. So that's a double crochet. It's like the second double crochet of the cluster. And then this is the third double crochet of the cluster. And then chain 2 and do 3 double crochets. Now, the reason for this is it creates a really nice finish, so you can't even see where the beginning chain, a lot of people start with a chain 3 there for your first one. So we're going to finish with a double crochet in this and then join it together. So yeah, so now chain 1, and then going into the next cluster, or next chain 1 space, we'll do a 3 double crochet cluster. Can't remember if I said to chain 1 coming out of there. Chain 1 coming out of the corner, set of 3 double crochets, chain 1, and then into the next chain 1 space, another set of 3 double crochets. And a chain 1, and now you're going to work the corner as before. So a set of 3 double crochets, and 3, and then a chain 2, and another set of 3 double crochets into that chain 2 space, and 3, and then a chain 1, and then carry on with your sets of 3 double crochet, chain 1s in your chain 1 spaces, and work the corners as you come into the corners. And you're going to work that all the way around, and we'll see you at the end. All right, so coming around to the end of round 5, I've just finished my last cluster chain 1, and so we're going to finish off by doing a double crochet into that chain 2 space that we started into. And rather than fastening off in the regular way, I'm going to show you an invisible finish. So you're going to cut your tail and pull that through the loop off your hook, and put your needle on. And what this does, this eliminates the knot in the last round. So when you're joining your squares together, you're not having to join into a knot. So you have your beginning chain 2, 1, 2, and then you're going to go into the third stitch. So there's 1 stitch, 2 stitch. This third one is the top of that middle double crochet. You're going to bring your needle in underneath the 2 V stitches of that stitch, bring that through, and then you're going to snug this up. And what you're doing is you're creating like a mock stitch, and then you're going to come back down into the stitch that this yarn is coming out of. You're going to come down into the V in between that and bring the needle out through the back of your work. And then you're going to just sort of snug that up, and see, that just creates such a really nice finish. And then you can just go ahead and darn that tail end in. I like to join it over to the next chain space there, and then just go ahead and darn that in. So I'm going to go and darn in my tail ends. I'm also going to give this a little pressing with my hand steamer, and I'll come back and show you that. All right, here we go, all done. And I did have to fuss with them a little bit with the hand steamer. It works so perfectly for these 3D flowers to use the hand steamer. And this one here, I think in retrospect, I would flip it over and use it with sort of this bobble side up, because it does look a fair bit like this one. I mean, it's different, but anyways, yeah, so these 3D flowers do need a little bit of fussing and that, but I think they're so much fun, and these 3 patterns together would be great for any number of projects. So I hope you enjoy this tutorial. Please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and hit that notification bell to make sure you don't miss out on any upcoming videos. We'll see you next time.